Hello everyone, good morning. Can anyone confirm audible or not? Can anyone confirm? Do you have any questions? Anyone have any questions? You can unmute and you can talk for 5 minutes. You're stuck with something while practicing. I asked you to complete mobile menu 1. The next one is like I asked you to complete this question paper. And then I asked you to complete this reusable component, table reusable component.
Excuse me, sir. I just have a question in the reusable component. Here, we are passing headers, data, and columns, right?
Right.
My doubt is like both headers and columns, they have the same value. So
No.
why can't we just use headers and data instead of using columns?
Yeah, you're right. Say this. Here, the name, here also name, runs, and here also runs. But the thing is, if you have an object, I have obj, okay? Here, one property is there, n1 of 10. One more property, n2 is like 20. Okay. Obj of n1, what's my answer? 10. Obj of n1, what's my answer?
Okay.
Okay, undefined, right? So here, the thing is, these values I am using to retrieve the data from the object in my reusable component. See this. Okay, columns, how many are there? First column, obj of that column, I can get it. Okay, here the name is like exactly same as your object key. Okay, the headers are like vary, right? Okay, my header is like sometimes, okay, here player name, player runs. Okay, but the keys always, okay, the columns always should be these names only. You should not change. Why? Because I'm going to use to retrieve the data. Got my point?
Okay. So this is a standard way to use.
Yes. To
But that
retrieve,
also works, right? If in case both the header name
yeah,
and
yeah, yeah. You can
those.
you can use it. Okay, here also you can put like name. Okay, then that time, okay, headers and columns both are like same. Just you can retrieve it.
Yeah, okay.
Any other questions, anyone? No questions? All are able to understand? Okay. Okay, then. My next level requirement is like very simple. I want to create one simple login page with Bootstrap with React. Okay. I want to create one simple login page. That's it. Shall we create with reusable components? Okay. How we can? Let's start. How we can create? When I say like login.html, first I need a Bootstrap. If you want to work with Bootstrap, what things are required? If you want to work with Bootstrap, what is required? My Bootstrap people provided like some predefined CSS. Okay, that means already they're written the CSS. The file name is like bootstrap.css. Can we get that CSS file first? Yes, I have the CSS file. Once you have the CSS file, the next thing is what? The next thing is what? Come on. You have to load that CSS file. Link relation equals to style sheet. The next one, href equals to what? Bootstrap.css. Okay, after that, the remaining things are like common or not. The remaining things are like common. Bootstrap.css. The remaining things are like common. container, all these things are okay. Now let me delete everything. Return one simple div, close my, that's it. Can I run this? Here there is no data, nothing. Okay, now the data is like yes. Just wait. Okay. Okay, but my requirement is not like SS. I want login page. Okay, how we can design the login page by using Bootstrap? Tell me. Go on. Can I take like H2 or H1 or H3, one heading like this? Yes. I want in the middle. Then how we can? My class name is like what? Bootstrap class name.
Text center.
Text to center. I need a gap. Okay, top and bottom. Then
Padding margin.
MY.
Padding.
okay, padding.
Padding.
Okay, I
Margin.
need some background color. BG primary.
Margin bottom.
Primary. Okay, I need some gap between login content to border. Then you can go with what?
Margin.
EY.
Margin.
Padding.
Line
Margin.
height.
Content to border.
Padding.
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 Padding top. How much you want? 3. Padding bottom. I want like 3. Okay. I need the text is like white color. Text to white is the Bootstrap class. Also. Okay. Next. Come on. The next thing. Come on. I'm not asking about React or something. Whatever we designed, Bootstrap, CSS, and the
Username and password and input
Good
fields.
tag.
Okay, next. Come on.
Username, password, and input fields.
In the next, I needed one row, right? I needed one row. So how we can do? Close my div. Okay, here I needed like one row. My class name equals to what? Row. My row contains how many columns in Bootstrap? My row contains how many columns? 12 columns.
One. So
12
column is 12.
12 columns. So how many columns you want me to give for username text? How many columns you want me to give for text box? How many columns you want me to give for message, error message? Okay, you can decide.
4 each.
Okay, just you can decide that one. Okay, for now I'm going to write like called SM5. Can anyone tell if I write like this? Which resolution? How many columns it is going to take? Excess. How many columns? Excess.
Five.
Extra small.
It will
Extra small,
take
5.
Access 12.
Extra small. 12. If you not mention the default is like div whole, it's going like 12. Small, how many columns? 5.
5.
Medium, how many? How many?
Which one, sir?
Medium.
Minimum
12. Sorry, 5.
Medium, 5. Large,
5.
5. Why? Because if the next resolution, nothing you mentioned, the previous resolution value carry forward to the next resolution or not. So MD 5. Okay, LG not there. MD value carry forward to LG. Like that, right? Yes or no? User name. Okay. Yes. This username I want in the right side. Then text end is the Bootstrap class. Yes. Okay, 5 columns occupied. Remaining how many columns are there? Remaining columns. Div class name equals to call SM. 3 columns I want to use for text box. Okay, remaining how many columns? Div
4.
class name equals to call SM. 4 columns I want to use for what? Okay, for error message. So how we can write the text box? Which class is there in Bootstrap to make it look and feel?
Form but 4.
form control. Okay, here I need a message. Please enter user ID. Oh, keep on mute. So, please enter user ID. So class name I want in the red color, text danger is the red color. Now can I refresh the page? Yes. Now if you observe here, are able to see the horizontal scroll? Yes. I don't want this horizontal scroll then. Can you wrap your row with what? Container fluid. Yes. Now can you come here? Can I refresh? I need some gap after login. So login border outside, I want to expand something. Then it is what? Margin bottom, right? Expand border bottom, something like this. Okay, I need some more gap. Yes. All are okay? All are agreed with me? Okay, then. If you're satisfied with this, can I copy this? Can I paste here? Little change. Okay, password. My type is like what? Password. Okay, please enter what? Password. So, can you come here? Can I refresh? I need the gap between one line to another line. Then one row to another row. Margin bottom 4. Margin bottom 4. Now come here. Yes. Okay. Yes or no? Whatever we discussed in our CSS class, just I am writing that code. Okay, React not at entered into this particular code. Okay, we'll do that later. After that, what we have to do? Come on. I need a button. In the row, how many columns you want me to leave? How many columns you want me to leave? Come on. Offset. SM 5 columns I want to leave it. Call. SM 7 columns I want to keep it. Okay, here can I take a button? Can I close my button? Okay, here can I say login? Can I give the class name equals to btn primary? btn primary. Can I refresh the page? Yes. All are okay? Agreed with me? If you observe here, this code, see, these lines of code I copy pasted here. Yes or no? Slight changes I did it. What changes I made? This text I changed. My input type here, it's like a text. That one I changed like a password. And my error message, just I change it to please enter password. Except these 3 changes. The remaining code is like duplicate code or not? Yes or no? Except these 3 changes, the total code is like duplicate code only or not? Yes or no? Come on. Is it the recommended way of writing the code like this? Any content, okay, it is like reuse multiple times. Any content in your application want to reuse multiple times. Okay, don't write the same code for that content multiple times. Can you create one component with that content? Can you reuse it? Possible or not possible? So can we create one component? Can I use this component here and here both? Yes or no? First of all, tell me the data representation for this particular row. The data representation, tell me. The data representation, common part, leave it. Data only keep on changing. What changes are like, okay, which data is like vary from one row to another row? If you observe here, username is like different, is nothing but label is different. The type is different. Yes or no? Here type is text. Here type is like what? Here type is what? Password. The error message is different. These three are like different from one row to another row or not? Yes or no? So with that information, can we represent our data? Can we create one data object? Shall we? Okay, how we can create? Come on. Data representation I want. Constant, my data. Okay, otherwise input controls. Input controls data is, how many input controls you want? First tell me. How many input controls? 2. So array. Each and every input control, I want to tell something about that. For each and every input control, I want to tell something. I want to represent something about that input control. Tell me how we can, by using an object or not. Okay, how many objects? 2 objects. First one is like what? Come on. My label, can I say username? My type, can I say text? Come on. Come on, next. This is your object. You can customize how you want. For now, 3 properties are enough for me. Error message is what? Please enter user ID. This is the one, right? Can I copy this 3 properties? In future, I'm going to add multiple. Okay, this is what? Password. Password. This is what? Password. Please enter what? Password or not. Done. Now, which content is like duplicate content? With that content, can you prepare one component? Yes or no? Constant. Okay, component name can be anything. Can we return that content here? Now tell me. This component should expect which data from outside? This is not only the static for username or text password. Okay, this one. This is like a reusable component or not? So if you want to reuse for multiple input controls, you should have to do what? You should have to expect these values from outside or not? How we can expect the data from outside if it is a functional component? Through parameters. Okay, how many parameters you want me to pass? Come on, you want me to, okay, you want me to get it from outside. You decide it. You decide it. Props is an object. You know that one. What keys you want me to use to retrieve? With that keys only he is going to pass the data or not? You decide. You decide that one. Okay, label, type, error, message. Okay, these names can be anything, no problem at all. So can I add the label here? Yes or no? Can I add the label here? The next. This is the type. Can I add the type here? The next. This is the error message. Can I add the error message here? Yes or no? Now tell me. If anybody want to use this input control, how many props he has to pass? How many props he has to pass? How many props he has to pass? Come on. 3 props he has to pass. 3 props he has to pass. Now tell me. I have an array of elements are there. With this element, what you want me to prepare? One input control. With this element, what you want me to prepare? One input control. If you want to perform the same operation on each and every element, then you can go with what? Then you can go with what? Then you can go with what? Map method. So can you come here? Where is your data? With this data only, I want to prepare the input controls or not? Input controls dot map is the method. First time it gives me the first object. comma, its index. Okay, with the first object, I want to return what? I want to return what? One input control, okay, including this row or not. So can I add this input here? Can we return this input? Yes. Now, if you refresh the page, see this text box by default text, so that is visible. Label is not visible. Error message also not visible. Why? Why? You are loading input here, but he is expecting how many props from outside? 3 props, right? Yes or no? 3 props or not? He is expecting these props or not? Okay, these are the prop keys. So you should have to use the same keys and you have to pass your data or not? Yes or no? In my input controls, first time this is my first object. Okay, representing how many properties? 3 properties. So can we destructuring? Can we destructuring the properties? How we can? Constant. Come on, obj. What are the properties? Label, comma, type, comma, error message. Error message. Now tell me, instead of obj, directly can we write here? Any problem? Any problem with this syntax? Anyone have any problem? First one is like an object. From that object, I am destructuring these 3 properties. Directly can write it instead of creating one more value, one more variable like this. Instead of creating one more variable like this, you can destructuring here itself. You can destructuring here itself. So you can pass the label, the next. You can pass the type, the next. You can pass the error message or not. Do you think like this one and this one should be same? Do you think like that? Do you think like that? This one and this one should be same, huh? No, right? Okay. Now, I want to ask one question. Yeah. Now, if I do the change here, okay, where you want me to do the change? If I do the change in line number 49, error, where you need to do the change? That change reflected where? You should have to change, where? First, this error is coming from this particular object, right? So it should be an error. This should be an error or not? Yes or no? Come on. If I change the name here, what you need to do the change? Where you need to do the change? If I change the name here, where you need to do the change? Now you are expecting, okay, he is passing with the text, so that you should have to retrieve with which key? You should have to retrieve with which key? Text key or not? Yes or no? Now can I refresh the page? Yes. It is working as expected or not? It is working as expected or not? Yes or no? Come on, come on, come on. How many times you written the code now? How many times you written the code now? How many times you written the code now? Only one time, right? You reused it multiple times or not? You reused it for multiple times or not? Okay. Now I want to create a template. I want to create a form for insert a question, to save a question. Okay. Tell me, in a quiz, you need to save the questions, right? Then only you need to save the question in your database. Then only we can retrieve the data from the database and you can show as a question paper and the user can write the test or not. So if you want to save the data, questions data, first of all, you need to enter the data, then only, right, we can save it. So the form, how it looks like means, see, I need a question. Now tell me, question is like single line or multi-line? Question is like single line or multi-line? Maybe multi-line, right? Okay, the next one. Options. Option 1, option 2, option 3, option 4. Okay, these are like what? Can I place like a normal text boxes? Normal text boxes. Yes or no? The next one is like question type. Question type is what? Question type is what? Question type is what? It is a single answer question or it is a multi answer question. Any one of the option you can select it. Only one of the option. If you want to select multiple options, okay, select single option from multiples, then you can go with what? You can go with what? You can go with what? Radio button or not. When you can go with the checkbox? When you can go with the checkbox? If you want to select multiple options from multiples, then you can go with the checkbox or not. Yes or no? Okay. The next here, answer. Answer. Okay. My answers are like, okay, my answers are like A maybe, B maybe, C maybe, D maybe, AB maybe. Okay. Why? Because it's like a multi-answer question, AB or BC or AC or AD. So there has multiple options are there. Select one option. But multiple options, how many options? Multiple. Okay, 10 options are there. Okay, more options are there. Select one option. Which input control is the recommended one? Can I go with the drop down? Can I go with the drop down? And finally, okay, one button is required, save button. Finally, one button is required, that is the save button. Now, this form I want to create this form with reusable components again. I want to create this form with reusable components again. Shall we? Shall we do that? Shall we do that? Okay, then. Perfect. So, question form. Can I copy the login one? Okay, whatever the things we discussed, can I copy this one? Okay. Open with live server. Okay, can I do the required change here? What change? Instead of login. Instead of login, what change you want me to do? Question. Okay, you can save the question. Okay, then. Now, the data representation for this particular form, tell me. The data representation. Here also label is required. Okay, here also, what? One text area is required. Okay, here label and text area. Error message we'll see later. Okay, error message we'll see later. Otherwise, you can put the error message. Okay, here this one, data representation. Question, option, type, and answer. Got my point? And answer. These many required or not required? Data representation, I'm asking. Got my point? First of all, create the data representation. Okay, already we have that. Where is that? Array of objects. You are right. Array of objects. This is my data representation or not? Can I copy this? Okay, this is the question. Okay, if you want me to take this one, no, like this I want. First label is what? Question. Label is what? Question. Please enter question. Please enter question. Okay, type is what? Type. For my question, what is the type? For my question, what is the type? Input type equals to text. Input type equals to checkbox. Input type equals to radio. Okay, what is the type? First of all, this is no type for this particular text area or not. It is a separate element or not. Yes or no? Now tell me, the element names tell me. This is text area. This is the text area is my element. Okay, for all these, what is the element? Up to here, what is the element? The element name is what? The element name is what? Input. Input. Okay, for this, what is the element? What is the element? Select or not? Yes or no? Come on. Agreed with me? See, if you observe, this content is like same. Okay, option. Okay, input type equals text to input type equals to radio, input type equals to password, like that. This is completely different, right? The element, the content is like completely different or not? Here you are going to write like input to prepare all these things, but here you need to write like a select. The content is completely different or not? Here also the content is like completely different or not? So with this content, I want to create one component, that is input component. To prepare this content, I want to create one more component, text area. If you want to use in future, you can use it. With this content, I want to prepare one select box. One select box. So total, how many components you want me to create? Reusable components. I want to create one input. I want to use like this multiple times. I want to create one text area. Here only one text area is there. In future, multiple text areas are there. You can create the text area component. You can reuse it. Here only one drop down is there. I want to create the drop down reusable component. Now it is like only one. In future, maybe multiples, right? Yes or no? Come on. Agreed with me? So overall, how many components are required? You got some idea or not? Overall, how many components are required? Okay, you can create the reusable components first. You decide it. Okay. See, you are the creator. Other person is like a user. User has to follow the creator guidelines or not? Or creator has to follow the user guidelines? Who has to follow? Who created the component? He already created. I am the user. I should have to follow the creator guidelines or not? Who designed that particular reusable component? Yes or no? Come on. So create the component first. Okay, you can just expose that component, publish it. Remaining people can use by following your guidelines or not. So can we create one more component? Constant text area is my component. Okay, here also, can I copy this one? Can I copy this one? Text is like a common. I don't want any type. Yes or no? I don't want any type. Error message is enough. Okay, text is this one. My element is what? Text area is my element or not? Text area is my element or not? Yes or no? Error message, you can put it as usual. Okay, the next one more component all required. Come on. Component name can be anything, okay? The next component is like select. Now tell me, what inputs are required to create the drop down? Can anyone guess? Text is required, right? Okay, why? Because here this is my text. This is my text. The next one is like error message is required. Error message is required. Extra thing is what? Extra thing is what? Come on. This is my select. Okay, inside the select, what you have? Inside the selects, what we need to write? Options, right? So can we ask the options also from outside? How many options he send? That many options I need to prepare here or not? By using what? By using what? My options dot map method or not. Okay, every time, first option and its index. So can we return my option? Okay, so OPT, can I close my option? This is the list. Can I give the unique identity for that? So overall, multiple components I created. If anybody want to use this particular component, how many props he has to pass? By seeing this one, tell me. If anybody want to use this select component, how many props he has to? He has to pass 3 props. With which keys? With which keys he has to pass the props? Text 1 key, error message 1 key, options is like 1 key or not. If anybody want to use this component, he has to pass how many props? Text and error message. Okay, if anybody want to use this particular component, okay, he has to pass text to type error message or not. Got my point? Okay, you created these 3 components. You are the creator. I am the user. If I want to use this particular component, okay, what props are required? He should have to pass those props or not? Yes or no? Okay, can you come down now? Can we focus on the requirement now? Can we focus on the requirement now? For my question, it says text box. You want to type or not required? Come on, what he is expecting? Text, text area, what is required? Text error message is enough. Type is not required, right? Just leave it. Just leave it. Question is my key, text area and error message. Please enter question. The next one is what? The next one is what? Options. What is my label? Option 1 is my label. Type is what? Text. Please enter option 1. Option 1. Like this, how many options you need? Like this, how many text boxes you want me to create? Option 2. Option 3. Option 4. Done. Okay, the next one is what? The next one is what? Come on. The next one is what? What is my label? Question type is my label. Question type. Question type is my label. Okay, what is the type? Okay, question type. What is the type of my input control? It's a text or my type is like a radio now. What is the type? What is the type? It is a radio or not? My type is not text, radio. Okay, please select. Please select. Okay, question type is my error message, but one thing is missing. Now, what is that? How many radio buttons you want me to create? How many radio buttons you want me to create? Tell me, how many radio buttons you want me to create? 2 radio buttons. One is like single, another one is like multi. One is like single, another one is like multi. Got my point? So those also required or not? So what I can say? What I can say? If it is like input 1, if it is like a normal text box, then the time these 3 properties are enough. These 3 properties are enough. But if it is like a checkbox or radio button, I need the option also or not. So here, can I mention options also? When these options you can get it whenever it is like a radio button or checkbox. So I need to pass the options also or not. Yes or no? Okay, how many? How many options you want me to pass? Single, next, multi or not? All are okay? Up to okay? Done. The next one is like what? Answer. The next one is like what? Answer. The next one is like label is what? Answer. Do we have any type for the select box? No. Please select answer is my error message. Error message. How many options? Come on. A, B, like that. How many? C, D. Next. AB, maybe. AC, maybe. AD, maybe. Next. BC, answers. Okay, next. BD, maybe. Possibilities. Next. CD, possibilities. Next. My answers may be like this or not. ABC. Okay, next. ACD. Next. BCD. Okay, next. ABCD. Possibilities. These are the possibilities or not. Yes or no? Yes or no? Okay, each and every question should have the answer, right? None of the above not. This is not your okay radio button. Okay, your options, question options, not your answer options. This okay here. Okay, you are creating a question. You are not writing the text. Okay, you are not writing the test. It is a question options. See this text we are placing here. Okay, here these are the input controls. This is related to question you are preparing. Think I am the student, you are the principal is like creating the questions, right? Okay, principal pays this is, think like that. Your faculty pays this one. My faculty is like entering the questions. For each and every question, one answer he has to select or not. It is used for validating your answers, the student answers, to validate or not. Got my point? Yes or no? Come on. Okay then. Now come here. Now come here. Now total how many input controls are there? Total how many input controls are there? There has multiple input controls are there. Multiple input controls are there. Now with this input controls, if I run, okay, if I execute like this, can anyone tell me, okay, what it is going to render in your pace? What it is going to render? First, for all input controls, you returns what? For all input controls, you returns what? You returns only input component. The input component always create a text box only or not. Now, if I run this one for all, okay, say this, its text box is only created. Okay, text box. Okay, text box, type also text box, answer also text box. You want only text boxes, huh? No, nah. Here it should be a what? Text area. Here text box. Okay. Here it should be a radio button. You not handled that one. Here it should be a select box. You not handle that one properly or not. Yes or no? Come on. What do you want me to do? I already told to you, this is your object. You can customize how you want. Tell me. Whenever this particular object in your map method, if you get it, what you want me to return? Input component you want me to return? You should have to return the text area, right? Yes or no? Whenever this object entered into your map method, what you want me to return? Input component or select component or text area component? Input component you have to return or not. So I want to differentiate. Hey, this one is like text area, this one like input. I want to differentiate. For that, can I add one more property like this? My tag is like what? Text area. For this, what is my tag? What is my tag? My tag is like input. Okay, for this, what is my tag? For this, what is my tag? Input. For this, what is my tag? Input. For this, what is my tag? Input. For this also input. You not handle, but input. But for this, what is the tag? For this, what is the tag? My tag is like select or not. So there has one more prop also. Type is there, error is there, okay, label is there, okay, the next one is like a tag also there, the next one is like sometimes options also you may get it, okay, these many properties you may get from the object or not. For one object you may not get all, but okay, for my first object I can get like label, error and tag. Okay, okay, then now if my tag is equals to text area, what you want me to return? Decide. Text area component I want to return. If my tag is like input, this one I want to return. If my tag is like select component has to return. So how we can handle that one? Can I write the if conditions? Instead of if else, if else, if else, can I go with the switch case? Can I go with the switch case? Okay, this is my tag. This is my tag. My case is like a text area. If my tag is like a text area, can we return what? This one? Yes or no? If my tag is like a text box, if my tag is like a input, then that time can we return this one? This is the text area. I want to return it. Text area is expecting what? Text and error message only. Okay, if my tag is like select now, okay, that means if my tag is like select now, okay, what do you want me to return? If my tag is like select, I want to return select component text type is not there. You should have to pass the options or not. Yes or no? This guy is expecting what? This guy is expecting what? Okay, select is expecting what? He is expecting text to error message options. Select text error message options. Input is expecting what? Input is expecting what? Text to type error message options. Input is expecting text to type error message options also. Why? For my radio button I need an option. Okay, see, for my radio button text box, tag is input only. Tag is input only. We can handle that one. Now can I refresh the page? Okay, it gives me some error. Can we fix that one? Can I go to the console? Okay, what is that error? Props is not defined. Okay, uncaught error, props is not defined at a text area. So can I go there? In my text area, okay, in my select props, you destructuring, but that particular variable is not there. That's the reason it gives this error. Can I refresh? Yes. Okay, can I give the bootstrap class name for this? What is my bootstrap class? Form control. Can I give the bootstrap class for this also? My class name equals to what? Form control. Now, can you come here? Can I refresh? Yes or no? Okay, question, text area. Option 1, text. Option 2, text. Option 3, text. Option 4, text. But type should be radio button, not at handle. Okay, my answers. Yes. Okay. Yes or no? Yes or no? Finally, this is like save question. All are okay? Agree with me? Yes or no? So you need to focus on now. You need to focus on now. What? You need to focus on now. What? Okay, this radio button or not. So my radio button, okay, tag name is like input only. So here here you have to add something different or not. What we need to add? What we need to add? Come on, what we need to add here? Right. One switch case you can write it. One switch case you can write it. What is that case? What is that? If my type, okay, is like, okay, type only you can take it. If my type is like a text or something, okay, then that time you can take like input type equals to text. Otherwise, I want to take it like some other different. Okay, so much logic is required. Don't write directly here. Okay, can you do one thing? Create one function. Constant prepare inputs. Prepare input. This is my function. Now, from here, okay, you can return it. You can return this. Now, can we call the prepare input from here? Can we call the prepare input from here? Any problem to you? See, tell me, in the past, my input control directly I placed here. Directly I placed here, like this. My input control directly I placed here. My input control directly I placed here. Now what I did, this input control I place inside the method, that is returned. So if I call this one, what I can get it? I can get this input control only or not? Both are same or not? Yes or no? Extra I written one method called, that's it. That method also gives me what? While calling, that method also gives me what? That method also gives me input only or not. Okay, now based on the type, sometimes it's a radio button, sometimes it's a checkbox, sometimes it's a type, okay, number or password, like that. So here you can write one switch case. Okay, switch type, you can write the case. If my type is like a text, if my type is like text, can we return this one? Can we return this one? Yes or no? If my type is like radio, then that time what we have to do? Then that time what we have to do? Come on, how many options are there? That many radio buttons you have to create and you have to return it or not? Yes or no? Come on. How many options are there? How many options are there? How many options are there? Okay, 4 options or 2 options. Okay, multi, okay, single, multi and single. So how many options are there? That many radio buttons you have to create. So can I write like this? My options dot map. Okay, now it gives me one callback method. Every time it gives me the value comma index. Now you should have to return what? Return what? Input. My type is what? My type equals to radio, and here the name is what? Value or not. So can I write like this? Yes or no? And finally my map method returns me something. That one only can you return from radio? See, options are like 2. I created like input type equals to radio, and value is like what? Male. Okay, not male, multi or single. Next time, next option. Okay, input type equals to radio. Okay, option value is like what? Single. Okay, those radio buttons you can return it when, if my type is like radio. If my type is like radio. Can you come here? Can I refresh? Okay, now see this. Now my input, where is that? Return right, case return right. Why it's coming like this? Then there has Okay, 2 coming. Why? If my type equals to text, okay, return input class type radio. You returned from the switch. There is no issues with that. Okay, switch options. Return means there is no need to write a break also. Okay, break, that is not an issue. Okay, can I control that? Okay, input, my type equals to text, then that time. Okay, input class name equals to this one. Okay, options dot map the value input type equals to radio. When now, if my type equals to radio, are you passing that type or not? Another switch case, did you write anywhere? Prepare input. Yeah, this one you have to remove, right? This one you have to remove, right? That is only causes an issue. Yes or no? Okay. But say this, what it is. What it is. Hello? Yeah. So the name should be same or not? Okay, you should have to make these two or like one group. So how we can make it like one group? How you want me to make it like one group? How you can make it like one group? Now come here. Here you can give like a index. Here you can give like a index. But the thing is, okay, this is the one, right? This is one option, right? Option, right? Okay, this is related to what? This is related to what? Question type. Question type. So you can hard code the name is like a type. You can hard code the name is like type. That is one. The next one is like index. As usual, you can use that index. Okay, so my name is like what? Index or not? My name is like index, but this will change in future. I will tell why it is like changed. Okay. Okay, name equals to index. Name same or not? Can I check it? Can you refresh the page? Okay, not working, right? Can we go to inspect? Okay, name is like index keep on changing, right? Index keep on changing, right? Then how we can say like an index? It's a unique identity. Then very simple. Can you ask him the name? Can you ask him the name? Any problem to you? If it is like a radio button, name is required. Okay. Okay, now for now, just I want to use like name also. My name equals to type. My name is like what? Type. So if it is like input, you have to pass like what? You have to pass like what? Name also or not? Name also. So in my question paper, okay, you can get like the name also. So can I give like name here? Name is like what? Type. That is like hard coded value or not? Now my name is like, okay, nothing is visible. I think is visible. So we may miss somewhere. Okay, name. This is my input. Okay, whenever this is like input, you have to pass the name. Okay, here name is not there. You have to get the name or not. Yes or no? Yes. Now my name is like type. Now it should work. Done na? My form ready or not? Yes or no? My form ready or not? Okay. Okay, then take 10 minutes break and come. It's like 9:10. You can come by 9:20. Okay. Take 10 minutes break and come. Okay. Anyone have any questions so far what we discussed? Anyone have any questions so far what we discussed? Class up to 10. Anyone have any questions? Okay. On this particular form only, I want to perform some operations. Okay. By default, I don't want to show this. Please enter question. Whenever the data is not there, then only you have to show it or not. Yes or no? Okay, like this, you need to perform some operations on this particular page. Okay, that one is like next level discussion. Our focus is like reusable components. Got my point? At the time of clicking on the save button, this whole data I want to store in my MongoDB database with the help of Node.js middleware. The help of Node.js middleware, I want to store this total data, okay, in my database. Got my point? Okay. Okay, then take 10 minutes break and come. Thank you. Don't drop. Okay, take 10 minutes break. Take breakfast and come. Hey, I'm back. So, can you confirm audible or not? So, any questions, anyone? You can unmute and you can talk for 5 minutes. You can talk for 5 minutes. Any questions? Any questions? This topic or another topic, whatever it is. Anyone?
Hello, sir.
Yep.
Can we store this input data into JSON format?
Yeah, we can store this data in the JSON, and JSON data we are going to keep inside the MongoDB. That is our next level discussion.
Okay, but only we can store in JSON format.
Yeah, in the JSON format only, the best way of formatting the data is JSON.
Okay.
Okay, I will tell that one. That is next level discussion. Okay.
Okay.
So any questions, anyone? Shall we move to the next topic? Very, very important topic.
Here we have used a bootstrap. Instead of bootstrap, we can go with the CSS also, right?
You can write your own CSS. That's not an issue. But Bootstrap people already given some CSS for responsive web design. So that I want to use that Bootstrap.
In real time, like how we decide which we in few cases there will be like CSS and few cases we'll be using the bootstrap, right? Like how we will decide like which one we should
See,
use.
the Bootstrap people not provided like for all. For example, let's take like background color. Bootstrap people provided like only 8 classes. Other than that, if you want any other background color, then the time Bootstrap CSS will not work. Then the time you have to write your own CSS or not.
Okay.
Okay, like that, if the Bootstrap people not provided something, then the time you can go with your own CSS.
Okay.
Okay, any questions, anyone? Okay, the next topic is like very, very important topic. Listen carefully, okay? Okay. Let me mute all. Yeah. So this is my form. This is my browser, you can say. This is my browser. This is my browser. Already we discussed this one. In my browser, I have a login page is there. User ID, password. I designed this login page by using Bootstrap. I already designed also. Okay, same like this sign up form also there. For example, think like that. Now my question, just you can compare with Google sign up or Google sign in. Whenever you open the gmail.com, whenever you enter the username and password, if I click on the login button or sign in button, internally what happened? Internally what happened? You can unmute and you can talk if anyone want to. Internal flow I want.
Validate, check for validation of data.
Okay, we can validate the data username and password is there or not there. We can validate. Okay, that means you entered the username and password. Okay, that at the time of clicking on the login button, flow wise, step by step.
First of all, user ID is valid or not. Then go to password. Enter the right password by using @ and all.
First of all, who opened this particular page? Who want to log in? The person who already registered, right? The person who already registered, that person only trying to log in this page or not. So at the time of registration, you entered some data. That data, my Google people somewhere has to store or not. Yes or no?
Yes.
Where we are going to store the data?
Database.
Database. Perfect. In our database. Okay. In our case, we are going to discuss what? MongoDB. MongoDB. Whenever it's like a sign up page, if I click on the login button, okay, if I click on the register button, the data stored within the database. That's okay, fine. Where is my data? All your sign up user, registered users data in my database. Okay, this is first user, second user, like that. Now at the time of clicking on this particular login button, your data is there or not there in the database. You have to check it or not. Yes or no? Come on. You got my point? If it is there, I can say, yes, username and password is correct. Navigate to home page. If it is not there, show the message like, please check entered user ID or password. That is only the flow, right? Now my question is very simple. Login page or registration page, where it is loading? In the browser, right? Inside the browser, whatever the content rendered, that content we develop by using some client-side technologies. One of the client-side technology I want to use like React to prepare this content, render this content inside the browser. So my browser is always acting like what? It's a client-side application. Okay, client. Okay, inside the browser, by using client-side technologies, whatever the content you prepared and rendered, that is only visible. So my React is like a client-side technology. Is my client-side technology is not only React, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, okay, jQuery, Angular, React, all are come under client-side technologies. Now, my question is my client-side technologies having the capability to connect directly with the database, having or not having? Is my client-side technologies? No, it is not having the capability. So definitely this username and password is there or not there, I'm not able to check, okay, within my database. So what do you want me to do?
Sir, server-side technology, sir.
Some middleware help is required or not? Who is that guy?
Node.js.
Okay, the server-side application, server-side technology is required or not as a middleware? There is multiple server-side technologies are there. Okay, can you tell me some server-side technologies? Java, .NET, PHP, Python, Salesforce, Node.js, like this multiple server technologies are there. As part of our course, we are going to use like what? Node.js or not? Yes or no? So now my client is nothing but my browser is nothing but my React application. Send a request. Okay, he is asking something to my server side guy. Okay, that one I can say like what? Terminology wise, I can say like a request. Request. So my server side guy receive the request and process the request based on your requirement and give the response back to whom? And give the response back to whom? To my, come on, to my client. To my client or not. So from my client end, what operation you are going to perform? Tell me. Sending the request. Next, client side. Client side, what operation you are performing?
Sending and receiving the request.
Receiving the response or not? No. Okay, in my client side, sending the request and receiving the response or not? Yes or no? These two operations we handle from client side or not? Yes or no? Got my point? So you are the React.js developer. How much part you can complete in this requirement? Tell me. As a React.js developer, don't think about the server side and MongoDB. Okay, as a React.js developer, how much part you can complete in this requirement? Come on. You know how to create the login page or not? Just now we discussed. Yes or no? Come on. You know how to take the data from the text boxes or not? Yes or no? By using a ref. For now. Yes or no? You know how to click on the login button, okay, handle the click event or not? How to handle the click event? No or not? Yes or no? What you know? What you don't know? At the time of clicking on this particular login button, how to send a request to my server side application at this moment, I don't know. Once my server side guy gives me the response, right? How to receive the response and how to process the response also, I don't know, right? Yes or no? Go on. So our topic also that one only. In my client application, how we can send a request, how we can receive the response, that is the question. Got my point? In my client application, how we can send a request and how we can receive a response. How you know? There has a separate topic is there. There has one technique is there. That is what? Ajax. Got my point? That is what? Ajax. By using Ajax, what we can do now? Tell me. By using Ajax, what we can do? By using Ajax, we can send a request to the server and my server is going to give the response, right? We can receive the response and we can process the response in the client side or not. All are agree with me? Yes or no? From my client application, now see, it is a React. It may be JavaScript. It may be Angular. It may be Vue.js, whatever it is. From my client application, if you want to send a request to the server, if you want to receive the response from the server, look how it is possible, which technique is there? Ajax. By using Ajax, we can send a request, we can receive the response. Ajax stands for asynchronous JavaScript and XML. Asynchronous JavaScript and XML. Ajax stands for asynchronous JavaScript and XML. By using Ajax, we can send a request to the server and we can receive the response from the server. Okay, so as part of our course, how many ways we can handle the Ajax, you know? Okay, 3 ways I want to discuss, 3 different syntaxes. One of the syntax is like XML HTTP request class. Another one is like fetch method. Another one is like anxious library. These 3 ways I want to discuss to send a request and get the response. Got my point, everyone? All are agreed with me? Come on. All are agreed with me? Okay, then next level discussion. See, if my client want to communicate with my server side application, let's think I am the client, you are the server. I want to talk with you. First of all, what I needed, I want to talk with you directly. I want to talk face to face. First of all, what I required? Go on. I am the client, you are the server. Okay, I want to talk with you directly face to face. That is my request. Then the time what you have to tell to me, hey, I am here. Okay, in this particular location. Okay, I'm residing. You can come and talk like this. You need to give the information to me or not. Yes or no? If you not give me the information, then how we can come to you and how we can talk with you? Yes or no? Agreed with me? One. Yes or no? So if my client wanted to send a request to the server or my client wanted to talk with the server side application, first of all, my server side guy has to share some information to my client side application or not. What is that information? Hey, I am running in this particular location. Okay, with that location only, okay, by using that location only, you can come and you can request something, you can ask something like that. You have to get this information or not. So as a server side guy, you should have to, I am the client, you are the server. Where you are, who knows? Me or you are the person knows where you are. Okay, so you only has to tell to me or not. So my server side application knows where my server side application is running. So my server side application only has to tell to my client side application, hey, I am here, I'm running here. Like this, you have to share the location or not. Now tell me, in our terminology, software terminology, location is nothing but address. Address is nothing but your URL or not. Yes or no? Where my server-side application is running, that particular server-side application URL is required or not. Yes, sir. So tell me, if my client want to send a request to the server, what mandatory inputs are required? Come on, what mandatory inputs are required? Come on, my question is very simple. If my client wanted to send a request to the server, what mandatory inputs are required? The first input is like where my server side application is running, that particular address URL is required or not. Yes or no? Come on. Okay, that is mandatory or not? That is mandatory or not? If any client application want to communicate with any server side application, not specific to React Node.js, I'm not talking about React and Node. Any client side application want to communicate with any server side application, as a client side developer, I required two mandatory inputs. I required two mandatory inputs. One of the input is what? URL address. The another input, what you know? Can anyone guess? What is the another input? Come on. What is the another input? If you have an idea on server side technology, what is the another input? The next input is like request method. The another input is what? Request method. These two are like mandatory. Okay. Now you can ask a question. Hey, what is this request method? What is this request method? There has multiple request methods are there. Frequently used request methods are the get. The next one is like post. The next one is like put. The next one is like patch. The next one is like delete. The next one is like options. So like this, multiple request methods are there. Okay. Now my question is, who perform the operations on my database? Who perform the operations on my database? Come on. Who perform the operations on my database? Client side application, server side application. Server side application. What kind of operations he is going to perform? General. He may insert the data within the database, server side guy. He may update the data, existing data. The next one, he may delete the existing data. He may get the existing data or not. Like that, multiple DB operations he can perform or not. Based on the DB operation, my server side guy decides this method. If my database operation is like retrieving operation, then the time you can go with what? Get method. If my database operation is like retrieving operation, what is the method name? Get method. If my database operation is like insert a new user, is nothing but what? Post method. If my database operation is like user already existed, just I want to update the data, then you can use what? Put method. Full data updation put. Okay. Partial data updation is like patch. Patching is nothing but small repairs, right? Okay. Total data updations, use data updation, put. Okay. Few fields only update. The updation is required. Then the time you can go with patch, partial updation. I have the data, I want to delete it. Then you can go with the delete. Options is a pre-flight request, we'll discuss. Okay, it's like a dummy request. So who decides these methods? That is the question. Who decides? Client side guy or server side guy? Server side guy or not? Who knows about the URL? Client side guy or server side guy? About the URL. Server side guy. So whatever the mandatory inputs are required to send a request to the server, those mandatory inputs should share by server side guy or not. Agree with me? Whatever the mandatory inputs are required to send a request to the server by client, those mandatory inputs should shared by server side guy or not? Yes or no? Should shared by server side guy or not? What mandatory inputs? What mandatory inputs? URL and request method. As a client side developer, I don't want to bother about that one. Why? Because those two shared by server side guy. Once those two shared by server side guy, what my client side guy has to do? Once these two shared by whom? Once these two shared by server side guy, what my client side guy has to do? My client side guy, by using this URL and request method, using one of this, okay, using one of this XML HTTP, using one of this way, he can send the request and he can receive the response from the server side or not. Agreed? Huh? Agreed or not? Hmm? Okay. Okay then. Now you are the client side guy. Okay, I am the server side guy. Okay, you are the client side guy. I am the server side guy. Okay. Now here this much data node there. Let me delete it. Here I have one button is there. One button is there. The button name is like get users. Where is my users? Where my users are? Okay, where my users are? My users are inside the database. So my question is, you are the client side guy. I am the server side guy. Remember, you developed, you created this button. At the time of clicking on the button, where is my users? My users are inside where? Where my users are? Where my users are? Come on, in this flow only, the users inside where? The users inside where? Come on, inside the database. Here is my users. Think like that. Don't think more. At the time of clicking on the get users button, I want to take the data from the users. Okay, take the users data from the MongoDB database, and I want to show that data in the tabular format. That is my requirement. That is my requirement. Got my point? You are the client side guy. Think like that. I am the server side guy. Think like that. Okay. At the time of clicking on this particular button, okay, I want to take the data from the MongoDB database and I want to show in the tabular format. That is my requirement. Agree with me, all? Or if it is only the requirement as a client side guy, how you can start it? What inputs are expecting from me? All these things, can you tell me? Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. What inputs are required? First of all, okay, can I say okay? Okay. This is my app. What you require, tell me. Return, close my div. I needed one button. Yes or no? Come on, I needed one button. What is my button name? Button get users. Simple, simple. Make it pieces. One requirement is there. Okay. Complete requirement. If you don't know also how much you can complete it first, then only some other person can help you from there. If you not start here, I'm not able to do this requirement. If you not at start also, who can help you from scratch? Got my point? How much part you can complete, that much part you can complete it. Don't think about the whole requirement. Make it like pieces. If it is only the requirement, you don't know some part, you know something, you don't know something, but how much you know, complete it. At least you know, na? Okay, get users button you can show. At the time of clicking on the button, you can handle the click event. That one also you know. Up to here, you know or not? Okay, up to here, complete and wait. You can ask the next question. So, how we can? Come on, how we can? Click on the button. On, click. Function get users is my handler. Now copy this. constant function get users. This is the one. This is the one. You can say like a L. You can say like a L. Where is my Ajax? Can I open with live server? Yes. Okay. At the time of clicking on this particular button, my requirement is not this one, but my event handler is working or not. At the time of clicking on this particular button, I don't want to show alert message. I want to send a request to the server and get the response from the database or not. If you want to send a request to the server, what mandatory inputs are required? Come on. If you want to send a request to the server, what mandatory inputs are required? One. Can you hear me? Respond in chat. If you want to send a request to the server as a client-side developer, what mandatory inputs are required? Okay, you are the client, I am the server, right? Okay, you want to connect with me, you want to talk with me. Okay, so what you required? Two mandatory inputs are required, I said, right? What are those? What are those? URL and method. Okay, who's supposed to provide these two details? Who's supposed to provide? Who should provide? Not supposed. Who should provide? My server side guy. You are not the person. My server side guy or not. If you are a full stack developer, it's okay. Okay, now you are the client side developer. I am the server side guy. You require the details from the server side guy or not. Now you have to reach out to me. Okay, through mail or whatever it is. Okay, through mail or whatever it is. Okay, so hey, can you share me the request, the request inputs, to send a request, what inputs are required? Can you share me the URL and method? Like this, you need to send a mail to me or not through communication channel, whatever it is. So as a server side guy, I'm the server side guy, right? What I need to share? URL and what? URL and request method. So I am the server side guy. I already written the code. Okay. The URL is this one. URL is this one. The URL is what? This is the URL. The method is this one. I said like this. Now, whenever I shared these details with you, will you ask the question, hey, how you build this URL? Can you share me? Can you show me the code? How you written? Like this, will you ask to me? Like this, will you ask? What inputs are required? I provided to you. That's it. Okay, how I written the code. Okay, that is not required for you. That is not required for you. You required something. I provided. I provided. Okay, if it is not work, then the time you can ask to me. But what kind of code you written? Can you show me line by line? Can you explain? That kind of thing is not required for you or not as a client side guy. Yes or no? Whenever I provided these details, okay, how I written the code in the server side, what is the database, all these things required for you or not required at this moment? I am the server side guy, not required for you. That is not required for you. You required URL and method. I provided, that's it. If it is not work, then you can ask. Okay, don't ask about the code and MongoDB structure and everything. That is not required for you. Okay, in future, you are going to create the Node.js. Then you are the client side developer, you are the server side developer. Then the time you can manage. At this moment, you are only the client side guy. Okay, perfect. Okay, I provided the URL and method. Once you have the URL and method, any one of the technique you can use, any one of the way you can use, either XML HTTP request, either fetch method, either anxious, any one of this one you can use, you can send a request. Yes or no? You can send a request. Now, XML HTTP request and fetch, these two are like a by default JavaScript provided. So can you go to console now? Can you go to console? XML HTTP request. There are not there. There are not there. What is the type of this XML HTTP request? What is the type? Type of XML HTTP request. Type of XML HTTP request. It's a function or it is a class or it is a component. What is this? What is this? I already told to you Anything starts with capital letter in JavaScript, that is like a function. If you show like this with capital letter, it is a functional class. I already told you. If it is showing like F with a small letter, then that time that is what? That is a normal function. Got my point? So this is a functional class. And this is what? This is a function. Inside the class, how many members are there? Did you find any members? Did you find any members? No. Okay, but my class contains variables and methods, right? If it is not visible here, where we can see the members? Array class, string class, you are able to see the members. Still, you are able to access the members or not? Where that members are? Come on, where that members are? Where I can see the members of my functional class, which is not direct members? By using XML HTTP request inherited members prototype, right? Yes or no? If I open this one, these many members there are not there? Yes or no? If you want to access the members of a class, what we have to do? These many members are there inside the class. I can use these members to send a request to the server. If you want to access the members of a class, what we have to do? If you want to access the members of a class, what we have to do? We should have to create an object for that particular class or not. So at the time of clicking on the button, can we create an object for that particular class? Oh, yes, sir. Yes or no? Okay, so the process now. At the time of clicking on the button, I need to send a request to server. If you want to send a request, first of all, that request with you or not. So first you need to prepare the request or not. Then only we can send it, right? So prepare the request. How we can prepare, inside the XML HTTP request class, we have one method is there. What is the method? Open is the method. Can you see the open method? This method is used for to create or prepare a request. So can we call the method obj.open is the method. Observe here. Here there has two inputs you have to pass. Can you see that? What inputs? What inputs you need to provide? Whatever the mandatory inputs to send a request to the server, those inputs you have to pass it or not. What inputs? One is like get. Okay, given by whom? My server side guy. The another one is like URL. What is the URL my server side guy provided? This is my URL or not? Yes or no? Come on, come on. Whatever the mandatory inputs given by server side guy, with that inputs I prepared a request or not? Once I prepared a request, you want me to keep with me or you want me to send the request or not? If you want to send a request, okay, which method is there? See this, there has one method is there in my XML HTTP request class. What is the method? Send is the method. So can I send it? Yes. Now, once you send a request to the server, now tell me, who come into the picture now? Who come into the picture now? My server side guy or not? What my server side guy is going to do? What my server side guy is going to do? He receive the request. And process the request or not? Process the request. Okay, now this process the request taken care by whom? Process the request taken care by whom? Come on. Process the request taken care by whom? Server side guy. Now tell me how much time it will take. Do you know that? How much time as a client side developer, how much time it will take? Do you know that? Do you know that? No, right? No, right? How much time it will take? I don't know. Now tell me, I asked something to you. Am I expect always like a positive response from you? Am I expect like that? If I expect also, am I get it? If I ask something, am I get like always positive response? If I expect also, I'm not able to get it, right? I'm not get it, right? So you send a request to the server. My client send a request to the server. I don't know as a client, I don't know how much time it will take. I don't know the response also. Either it is a success response or failure response also or not. Yes or no? How much time it will take? I don't know. I don't know. Whether it is a success, or failure, also I don't know or not. Okay, maybe it's a success response, maybe it's a failure response. Possibility there or not there? Yes or no? My client prepared a request and sent the request to the server. My server side receive the request and process the request. My client don't know how much time it will take. And now after some time, okay, my request processing is completed. Successfully means he sent the success response. Failure means he sent the failure response or not. Who knows my response is like success or failure? First, who knows? Who processing the response? That guy only, right? Yes or no? Come on. My server side guy only, right? Processing the request. You only knows, right? My response is like success or failure. But that response required by whom? That response required by whom? That response required by whom? Come on. That response required by client or not? That response required by client or not? So with respect to client, I don't know how much time it will take to process. I don't know whether it is a success or failure also. Still, I needed that response. So directly my client side guy, okay, don't know about that request and okay, don't know about the responses like success or failure. For that purpose, okay, the XML HTTP request people gives me two callback methods. Okay, so one callback method is what you know. On load is the callback. This is going to execute whenever the request got completed successfully, then that time this method automatically called. Then I can come to know like what? My request completed with success response or not. Okay, now here, okay, here one more method also they provided. On error is the method. Whenever this method executed, that means I can say like what? My request completed with what? Failure response or not? Yes or no? Come on. Agreed with me? Whenever you send a request to the server, my server side processing the request. As a client, if I onload method executed, that means what? My request got completed successfully. It's a callback, automatically trigger, automatically called by some other person. Whenever on error triggered, okay, that means what? That means what? Okay, my request got completed with failure response or not? Yes or no? Okay, can we check it now? Where we can track request and responses, where we can track the request and responses, where we can track the request and responses, where we can track the request and responses in the browser. In the browser, where we can track the request and responses in the network tab, right? Everyone knows that one. I already told. Okay, my browser send a request to the local file. My browser may send a request to the cloud file. My browser send a request to the server application also or not. Now it is a server application. Now, if I click on the get users, which one triggered? Which one triggered? Which one triggered? Onload called or not? If onload called means what? My request completed successfully or not? My request completed with success response or not? Can we see these users? Can we see the headers? I send a request to this particular URL with this particular method. Can I see the response? This response only, right? Which is coming from where? Which is coming from where? Which is coming from where? Coming from my database or not? Am I hard code this data anywhere here? Am I hard code this data anywhere here? No, right? Yes or no? Come on. All are agreed. All are agreed. Okay, then. Now this response, I don't want like normal. Okay, just I want to create one table. Inside the table I want. I already created one table reusable component somewhere, right? I already created one table reusable component or not? Yes or no? Can I take the whole table reusable component? Can I copy this one? Yes, copy it. Can I paste in the Ajax one? Yes. Now, by seeing this one, can anyone tell me this particular table component? Anybody want to use? How many props he has to pass? How many props he has to pass? How many props he has to pass? 3 props or not? What are those? Headers. Another one is like data, and another one is like what? Columns or not? Headers, data, and columns. Yes or no? Okay. Okay, then this one for now, keep it aside. Keep it aside. Now, this is my data, right? Okay, this is my success response, right? Can we get the response? How we can get the response? Okay, constant or let my response equals to in my XML HTTP request class itself. In my XML HTTP request class itself, okay, we have one method is there, response text method, not property. Response text there or not there? By using this response text, you can get the response. You can get the response. If it is a failure, you can get what? Failure response. Failure response. Can I put the debugger now? Can I put the debugger now? Now see this. Can I refresh the page? Not here. This one. If I click on the get users, now see my request got completed. But the thing is, the obj dot response text, it is which type? Can anyone confirm? This is which type? Obj dot response is which type? See my response. It is which type? See, it is an array of objects, but outside, if you observe, it's a stringified array of objects or not. It's a string or not. It gives me an array of objects in the string format or not. So if it is a string format, can I use my map method? Can I use, okay, can I iterate that one? No, right? This is a string one. Can we convert this one into JSON? Can we convert this one into JSON? So if you want to convert a stringified JSON into JSON object, we have one method is there. JSON dot parse is the method. Can we pass this one? Now see this. This is the array of objects or not. This is my expected output to render inside the table or not. Agreed with me? Yes or no? So here my response equals to JSON dot parse of my response. Now tell me, this particular response I want to render inside the table. Okay, tell me, this response is the local variable, right? Okay, can I use the response here? My table is expecting how many props? Tell me. My table is expecting how many props? 3 props. So can I pass the 3 props here? 3 props. What are those? One is like headers. Another one is like, come on. Another one is like data. Another one is like columns. Okay. Data is this one. So can I use the data here directly? Possible or not possible? First of all, tell me, possible or not possible? 200% not possible. Why? If you observe here, this response is a local variable or not to this particular function. This response is a local variable or not? Can I use this response here? No, no, right? Then what you have to do? Then what we have to do? Come on. Can we manage this data in a state variable? Why? Why it is a state variable? First time my data is empty. Next time it is like 10 users. That 10 users I have to show within the table or not. First time load nothing. After that I made some changes. That changes has to reflect within the browser or not. Then you can go with what? Then you can go with what? Map. Or then you can go with what? State variable or not. So how we can create the state variable? React dot use state is the hook. Constant. Come on. Users or data. Set data. Set data. Yes or no? Now tell me. Data is which type? Data is which type? Users is which type? Array. So empty array by default. Whenever you have the data, can you update the data with the response? Whenever it is a failure, can I update with the empty response? Yes or no? Come on. Now this data, can I pass here or not? Can I pass here or not? Now come to this response. Now see this, these many things are there. I don't want all the things in my table. I want like his username, okay, his phone number, his email. 3 only, his website I want. 4 fields only I want. Username, email, okay, 4 fields only. So his username, see the header can be any name. Username. The next one is what? His email. The next one is what? Okay, his phone number. The next one is what? His phone number, his website. Okay, 4 headers I want. Website. Okay, now the columns are very, very important. See this. If the username data, if you want to take, the column name should be what? Username or not? Yes or no? The first column is like username. Okay, the next one, if you want to take the email, the key should be what? Email. So that one you have to keep it email or not. If you want to take the phone number, the key should be what? Phone. So you should have to pass like a phone or not. If you want to take the website, the key should be what? Website or not. So can I take the website? Then yes or no? Now can I refresh the page now? Can I refresh the page? Okay. By default, there is no data, nothing is there. No data, nothing. I don't want to show the data also. I will tell. Now, if I click on the get users, my request to go to the server and get the response, get the data from the database and show in the tabular format or not. And showed in the tabular format or not. Yes or no? One. Okay, if I refresh the page, when you want me to show this one, whenever the data is there, then only you have to show it. Otherwise, can you show the message like no data for now? No data. So, can I write the conditional rendering here? If my data dot length is greater than 0, then can you render this table? Else, can you render, okay, no data text? Yes or no? See, my data dot length. Okay, first time my data dot length is like empty. So that table not rendered showing like no data. Whenever length is greater than 0, then table rendered no data will not show. Now can I refresh the page? Ternary operator. No data. If I click on this one, now see this. Working or not? Agree with me? Everyone knows how to send the request to the server by using XML HTTP request. Yes or no? Okay, anyone have any questions? You can unmute and you can talk for 5 minutes. Anyone have any questions?
Okay, sir, we have this XML HTTP request, right?
Yes.
Actually, in my project, we are using only HTTP request, sir, with some annotations. What is the use of that and this, sir? Difference?
What is the class they used?
They're using, one second. They're using this HTTP request, sir.
Okay, this HTTP request is not a JavaScript one. See this. You may use like some other different library maybe.
Yeah, Axios they're using, sir.
Yeah, Axios, right? Axios. From the Axios one, okay, they may be use this particular one. Okay, we'll discuss that one, Axios.
Okay.
Sir, is React queries also used for sending the request and receiving?
React query, you can use it. React query also we can use to send the request and get the response. That is the separate library. Instead of that one, we are using like use query in the GraphQL. In future, I will tell.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, sir, thanks.
Yeah.
So in XML HTTP request, we don't have predefined methods like get, post, like that, sir. We have to manually mention it.
No. XML HTTP request has the open method, send method like this. This get
Okay.
and this URL expected by whom? Server side guy. You need to connect with the server side, right? Okay, that guy gives me this particular inputs. You have to pass it. See here, if you see open method, take how many arguments? 2 arguments. First one, to whom you want me to connect, that guy method. Get method. To whom you want me to connect, that guy. Okay, which method? Okay, URL you have to provide. So this one is the representing your which request, get request, post request, put request. You got my point? Yanxes has separate methods are there. They're written like that, yanxes.get to yanxes.post like that. But here, based on your input only, treat like a get method, a post method, a put method, like that.
Okay. And sir, this code we can say a lot of redundancy. So we can write everything in one line, no sir, because everything belong to object only.
Where?
Now, if we can see obj.open and then obj.send. So we can write in 50 line number only, dot open and dot send.
Here also you can, okay,
Yeah.
here you want me to send. You here no. Open method is not returns anything. If it returns something on that, you can call the send. Okay, but it is not written anything. You have to call the send method on object only. That means XML HTTP request object only. It is not like a chain.
Okay. So one more question, sir. So whatever the response we'll be getting from the API,
Yeah.
suppose if we can say some object or anything, it will be always in the stringify format only. That we
Not
have
like,
to convert to JSON.
not like that. In the XML HTTP request only gives me the response in the string format. If it is like Nangs, yes, you can get the actual response. That's the reason you have to check it, debug and check which response is coming, which format.
Okay. Yeah.
Any questions, anyone? Now onwards, your assignments are like whatever we are going to discuss in the class, that one only your assignment. Okay, you have to practice those things only. No point. Is that
Okay.
okay? Every day you have to read the JavaScript topics and you have to practice the React programs. That is only your assignments. JavaScript topics, whatever we discussed, we are discussing those topics every day. You have to practice, you have to read it, and you have to practice. Okay, in our class, okay, what we discuss the programs, that programs you have to practice by your own.
Yeah.
Okay,
hello,
no,
sir.
every day. Yeah.
Yeah. So this API you are calling using React way, but heading you have given Ajax. So here we are using Ajax. So,
see, Ajax is a technique. JavaScript people provided some predefined class and methods, okay, functions. Using that JavaScript functions and classes, we can send a request to the server. Okay, so React is a JavaScript library. It is not okay. It is not an issue to use the JavaScript code in your React. That's the reason simply I used this XML HTTP request class here. Got my point? You can use fetch method also to send the request, no problem. Okay, you can use Angular's third-party library. Future we are going to use it. So React is there is no issue if you use the JavaScript code and JavaScript whatever JavaScript people provided to you, the same thing you can use it, no problem at all.
okay, sir. Got it.
Any questions? Okay, can you do one thing? I already shared this code with you. JSON placeholder typecode.com is there, right? Copy this one. Only type code up to here. Copy this one. Okay. These are the public URLs, public API calls. If you come down, see this, there has a multiple URLs are there. can you write, okay, can you write, okay, some API call, this is the API call, okay, can you write one button, can you create one button, if I click on the button, can you send a request to this particular one by using get method, can you display this data in the tabular format like that? There are so many API calls are there. See, poster one API call, comments is one API call, the next one is like all bumps is like one API call, to do users like that. Can you do that? Yes or no? Now I created this users one. Can you do remaining? Okay, at least 2 or 3. Can you do the photos one? At the time of clicking on the button, there has 5,000 photos are there. Just I want to display that one. Can you do that? This is the URL. The method name is what? Get method. The method name is like get method. Any questions, anyone?
Sir, the question we have not completed, no sir, fully. Just we have developed the UI.
Which one?
The question insertion to the database.
Not done. So many things we need to add. Okay, our focus is like just template for now. Tomorrow, can you join at 8 o'clock morning?
Sir, one out of box question. Actually, our UX guys are giving the UX in the XD format. What is this XD and why we will be using this, sir?
That format, you can exactly measure the height and width of this particular border. All these things you can, if you open in the Adobe or somewhere.
Yeah. Okay. So we have to develop based on the measurements, resolutions.
Measurements and everything.
Okay.
So one question, you said JSON stringify format, this terminology. So in any data, like if it is an Excel data, or if we want to decide to use a JSON on a particular data and use it with JSON.parse or something on a given data sheet. So how we do decide, sir, if it is JSON or anything else?
Yeah, that one you have to, while debugging your code, okay, in your browser itself, you need to check it. For example, okay, let me open this one only. Yang says one. Okay, let me put the debugger here. Okay. Let me open this. Then inspect it. If I click on the get users, okay, now you can see this. If you come down, you see this is the response, right? By seeing this one, you only come to know. So this is which kind of data. Okay, enclosed with double quote or single quote is nothing but string. Okay, internally contains what? Internally contains what? If you put the cursor, internally contains what?
Object format.
Array of objects.
Yeah.
Okay, so stringified array of objects. So can you convert into array of objects like a JSON? Okay, for that you can use like a JSON.parse.
What is this stringify terminology? I'm exactly not getting. What is meant by stringify?
Stringify is nothing but, okay, one JSON object in the string format. That is like a stringified JSON. Okay, where obj is there. Because this is what n1 is like a 10, no? n2 is like 20. This is object, right?
Yeah.
Okay. If you convert this object into string, we have one method is there, stringify. Okay, now see this. What is the difference between this one and this one? This is a stringified object or not? Outside is a string, internally it's a JSON object, right? Now your response also like this only. Internally it's a array, JSON array, but outside it's an object or not? Stringified object. Okay, stringified JSON. Once you have a stringified JSON like this, you have to convert into JSON. So how we can? JSON.parse.
Why they are converting into stringify actually if the original is there?
Okay, the XML HTTP request people just they gives like a string data. Maybe sometimes Sachin is there. Sachin, if you want to send a response, then that time is it possible to pass like a JSON? No, right?
Okay.
But string we can pass like a string. Your JSON you can pass like a string, but your string is not passed like a JSON, right?
Okay. So they're converting. Okay.
That's the reason everything they pass like a string. If you want, you can convert into JSON.
Okay. The data type is a string or like just.
Always my response is like string only for XML HTTP request.
Okay, sir. Yeah, thanks.
Any questions, anyone?
Hello, sir. In the sense of tomorrow morning, you meant Monday or
Sunday, tomorrow.
Sunday? Sure, sir. Thank you.
Tomorrow at 8 a.m. Don't miss the class. Okay. Any issues to join? Anyone? Okay. Yeah, you can join at 8 a.m. Okay. Thank you guys. Thanks for joining. Bye. Okay. Very important class. That's a JavaScript related, but very important. The class is like promises, callbacks, observables. Very important. Without asking this question, there is no JS entry. There is no JS. Okay, tomorrow, Sunday at 8 a.m. we have a class. You can join. Okay, some people already dropped. If it is possible, just message them if you have a group or something. Okay. Okay, then. Thank you guys. Bye. Okay, I already shared that code with you. Just you can work on that code.